One more time. Deuteronomy 21 verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this is our son, is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice.
Right, and like I said, like I'm going to say again, because the camera cut off, it says the son, but that can also apply to a daughter as well. Yep. Okay, because the man comes first, so that's why it makes mention of the son. Go on.
He is a glutton and a drunkard.
Right, he likes to go out and clubbing and going to a bunch of bars and just being a drunkard, being a rebellious, a rebellious spirit, man. Go on, bro.
And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die.
And you know too, that would cure all of these problems that you have in the hood today. All of these little ghetto dwellers smoking weed all fucking day, man. Drinking 40s, eating fucking Doritos and all kinds of smoking, you know, getting into all kinds of drugs and what have you, gangs. You wouldn't have that. If this law was being in activation, you wouldn't have all these problems.
And a man would have to be in authority.
Exactly.
Because a woman that's raised in the family by herself, she's the weaker vessel. She ain't gonna have the stability and the decisiveness to do that. A man has to be in the house.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
And all the men of the city shall stone him with stones that he die.
Right.
So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
And the reason why that's there so that them other children can know and fear, not to rebel against their parents. So their dad tells them, look, you're gonna have to work, boy. You're gonna have to do what you gotta do, boy. And he has to do it. Or if the mom tells him to do something, he's gotta do it as well. Alright? Because like I said, during the ancient times of Israel, your father had his own little farm or his business set up. So if the son didn't want to go to work, the dad would bring the son, or the mom would bring the son to the elders, and they would stone his fucking ass. Because in that world, you're supposed to produce. You ain't supposed to be going about getting with women and you ain't working or whatever. All of this bullshit that you see out here right now, and that's why this society got to be destroyed. Because you have a lot of young boys that are feminine and masculine at the same time, and they gathering about without no kind of order, smoking and drinking cigarettes and rapping about it at the same time, and they popping these women and they don't know how to take care of these damn women, man. So yeah, we can get on the woman, but we also gotta get on these little young fucking gremlins too. Yeah. All right, go on, bro.
As I said, because in the Middle Ages, when we got Joan of Arc, we burnt her alive, man, in front of other women.
Oh, that's in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, like in the 1429, because she was leading men into battle, man.
Oh.
And Israelite men followed her, man.
That after the Dark Ages?
No. The Dark Ages is the period that we ruled Europe. The white man calls it.
At the same time talking.
Yeah, the white man calls it the Dark Ages, from 193 AD, really up until 1700s when they finally got us out of Europe. But in the 1400s, we burnt that bitch, that Joan of Arc, in front of other women as well, man. Yeah. Alive. We tried her, did her for heresy, and she got burnt alive. She was the first feminist, really. You know what I mean? She was wearing armor and everything. And even in the documentary I watched, it said Deuteronomy 22 and 5. You're not supposed to wear a woman's garment, man, and vice versa.
But really, with the foot, you checking the Bible, there's a woman called Ophelia. She put the first document in, but she killed all the seed royal, and then all the men did what they did to Joan of Arc. They grabbed it, they dragged her out in the streets, and they put her to death. Yeah, right in the street. Ophelia. That's in what book is it? I don't know. She's Second King. It's in the Torah.
Yeah. She before Jezebel? Was she before Jezebel? I only know about Jezebel.
No. She came after Jezebel.
Oh, Jezebel.
But women are always rebellious. Eve.
Yeah.
Eve. That was feminism.
Yeah.
You ain't got to listen to her, man.
Independence.
Come. Follow me. Yeah, that's feminism. But everything that we're saying here, this all contributes to how Esau's fighting against the Most High, okay, trying to create the earth in his image, okay, and he's using the media, okay, and this system to push forward that agenda, man.
Yeah.
Okay, to depopulate the earth, because the scriptures say what the Most High said, go forth and multiply. Esau does the opposite. He does the complete opposite of it.
And like we said earlier before, I mean, which we don't have to go back into it because it's already been explained. You know, Esau's doing his thing so that when it's all said and done, we can take a look back and realize that, yeah, that's the man of sin. It's simple. You know what I mean? But he has to play out his part right now.
Let's go to Revelation 17. Let's go to verse
17 verse what?
And that's why you have all of this madness going on out here, man. Drunkenness. There's just no order here. That means you have a society that's pretty much in a decline state. Because you can't rule a society while everybody's all bugged out their mind, man. Medically ill, or they just, if they are medically, or if they're not medically ill, they're just pretty much rebellious anyway. You can't rule a society like that.
Start from verse 1, yeah? Revelation 17 verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth on many waters.
Now what's the waters? It said this whore sitteth upon many waters. Go to verse 15.
Verse 15. Revelation 17 verse 15. And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues.
Okay, so now obviously it's not a woman that's sitting upon a whole heap of water. It's talking about a setup or a kingdom, okay, or rulership that's over the rest of the rulerships, the peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And your man Trump, Donald J. Trump, he's the guy in front, the puppet guy in front.
Yeah.
I'd say, because he's not the actual, he's following orders, but he's the guy in front. Well, it seems that. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
And there's a judgment. It's good to say the angel is showing John on Patmos the judgment that's going to happen to this rulership. Because there's going to judgment going to happen to it. Because this whore is also labeled as Sodom.
Oh, I just see a chariot, man. I'm telling you that. See? It just flew and just disappeared. Just flew across, just disappeared, man.
Or just now?
Just now. I swear, man, it just...
I believe that.
It just flew across.
Have you seen one before?
I believe
I
First
seen
time?
one when I was about 18.
When we come to this camp, I started to see chariots, and I said, yes, the Most High is telling me this is the spot to be.
Oh my
So
word.
that's a sign. That's a sign up.
We'll start from verse 2.
Because they always come around, man, them chariots. They always come around this area.
Wow.
You know, because we're, like I said, we're around, we're the men of the law. That shows you right there. So we're not just standing out here just talking nonsense. We're bringing out the word of the Lord, and that's our works right there.
You're gonna see more though, man.
My heart's
Wow, yeah. That's a sign, man.
And there's going to be a judgment for this, because this whore is not ruling in righteousness. It's a whore. You know, the scripture says, don't prostitute your daughter. He's the lamb full of wickedness.
Yeah.
So this system is full of what? Wickedness. Okay, go ahead.
Revelation 17 and verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
And it goes into what the brother brought out when he said, as is the king, so are the servants, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay?
That goes hand in hand.
Okay? That the people is, a king instructs his people. What's that scripture? Is Sirach 10? Or something like that.
See?
Yeah, but I was talking. Yeah. So go on, read on.
Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman. I saw a woman sat upon a scarlet-colored beast, having names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So this was a shameless hole, man. This is a nasty.
The most I manifest things, man.
I mean, think of the most disgusting, shameless woman you've met in your life.
You know who that is? Black woman, baby boy. That's who it is, brother. That's who it is, man. Let's keep it real, brother.
I mean, she was riding that beast, man.
You know, I just like to keep it real, man. I just like to keep it real. You know what I mean? That's why you have a lot of brothers going outside their race, man. I'm just keeping it real, man. And I've been around too, so I know what I'm talking about, man.
Just think about a shameless woman that can't be told nothing. Because America isn't going to tolerate threats from other countries. It's putting sanctions on them. I don't care. Follow what I'm doing. Like, you know, a woman that gives you like an ultimatum. You're dealing with a woman and she's trying to give you an ultimatum. Like, either you're doing things my way or just go and live your life.
Right. Yeah.
That's how America's doing the other day. Is that you follow what I'm saying or I'm going to sanction you.
Yeah. No way, man. That's fucking madness.
America's shameless. Okay, it has no order to.
But really, that goes into pride. That goes into pride because Donald Trump, he believes that America still has that same kind of power. And the reason why he has that mentality because Trump knows the kind of military power he holds. And he knows how much guns that his military power has. So that's why he's able, that's why he has this sense of feeling that we're unstoppable. You know, that's pride.
Yahweh Shai said something. He said, those that live by the sword shall die by it. Yeah. So Esau ultimately was condemned. And the second Isaac gave him his blessing. Because Isaac is Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai said something. He said, those that live by the sword shall die by it. So he knew when he was Isaac, when he gave his own son that blessing that you're going to live by the sword, he knew what the consequence of that would be, that you're going to die by it. So Esau was condemned. He was condemned just from that blessing alone. You're going to live by the sword. When Isaac came back as Yahweh Shai, he said that basically you're going to die by it. So this is the judgment that Esau's system was going to get, to be destroyed by that nuclear missile, which is metaphorically the sword.
Yeah.
That was the sword. Because when the prophet saw the missiles, it looks like a sword. Go ahead.
Fiery arrows, serpents.
Yeah, right.
And Revelation 17:4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls.
Right, so this one was put on a pedestal like nothing before. Purple, that's a royal color. Back in the day, in the ignorance of my mind, I used to think that purple was feminine. Like pink, like purple, yellow. You think that's a feminine kind of color.
Yeah, it's not been mixed with pink. If it's not been mixed.
Yeah, but
no, I said it's familiar, but it looks similar to
yeah,
pink. That's what I said.
Yeah, because Esau mixed certain things with, he make it go off to make it look like that. But when it in its original colour, purple, it's not. Doesn't look like pink. There's a this is more. You know what I mean? You got that, and then you got that.
Yeah, that's like a dark.
That's like a burgundy. That's more of a purple.
That's more of like a dark pink.
The raw one.
It's burgundy.
Yeah, this is more like the raw. This is closer to the raw purple.
Yeah.
This is more like the pink.
Yeah, because purple, that's royal, bro. That shows royalty. Even blue too. Shows like a higher class, bro.
IUIC, isn't it? IUIC, yeah. But they're in the kingdom already, man. Yeah. Oh, that organization's falling apart, man.
Yeah.
Like Apostle Gabal said, you know when you watch their videos, and it has the wall and it crumbles down.
Yeah.
It goes IUIC.
Yeah.
That's your organization. It's just crumbling, man.
That's it. Because they're the ones who's been teaching for years, man, that the mark of the beast ain't the chip. But it is the chip. And there's not going to be no tribulation come. Because I did see that thing you was telling me about.
Yeah.
Where he went Nate went to Jamaica, right? He went on this program, this TV program, and this Benjamin, because this Benjamin, he knew a couple of things. You could tell he knew something, right? So he was asking Nate, right, is there going to be a time where there's going to be great tribulation. So what Nate Kangaroo jumped, what he was saying, to try to prove that, no, there's not going to be no tribulation. Yahweh Shai is going to come and destroy the society, and that's it.
That's a lie.
Wicked, man.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. There's going to be tribulation, man. It tells you in the book of Acts 14. Through much tribulation, exhorting the disciples, confirming the souls that through much tribulation shall they enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's what it says. So Nate's lying his fucking ass off, man.
Yeah, but before he went off, he knew all that stuff.
Yeah, he knows.
He knew all that stuff.
That's what I'm trying to say. He sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
He must have sold out. It's a step by step. They first try to get you to compromise the doctrine a little bit.
Right.
So, and then there are other things. As time goes on and you're getting more than benefits, they're going to tell you to contradict more shit.
Right.
To compromise more of the doctrine. Now they're saying now there's no tribulation.
But you know
that's what the Jehovah Witnesses say.
I don't cut you, brother. You know what I think Nate's going to do? I mean, I don't know, but this is just my opinion, right? I think what Nate's going to do, he's going to do what a lot of churches are going to do. You know what the church is going to do? Give me the book of Romans 13.
Oh, I know it's all right.
So when that chip comes in now, let's say that microchip comes in full force, this is what they're going to do.
Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised. I think I believe that's what they're going to do.
This is what I think Nate's going to do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that that's a thing to believe. I'm not saying that, but that's just my opinion. This is what I'm going.
All right. Romans 13 verse 1.
Yeah.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Yep.
For there is no power but of God.
Right. And like I said, I'm not saying that what I'm going to say is gospel truth. But because Nate is under the 501c3 charter, those that are under the 501c3 charter, they're going to use the scripture to convince the people that believe in the gospel or whatever philosophy they believe in by using the Bible to take that chip. And I think Nate's going to be doing. He's going to do that.
For there is no power but of God.
Right?
The powers that be are ordained of God.
It's the way that you break that down. You break it down where the way you break this down is what you're supposed to say is that, look, we are to obey the higher powers that be because the Most High said to be power. But we don't obey them to the point where we gotta eat pork or we gotta take the chip.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's contradictory, isn't it? That's hypocritical.
Right.
Because you can't be obeying the laws of whoever's ruling,
Right.
but going off of the laws of the Most High.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You serve one and you hate the other.
Exactly.
I think that's why they're getting a lot of defectors now. Prominent elders,
Leave it. Yeah.
so-called elders, prominent doing videos saying, this is why I've left IUIC.
19 members.
So, yeah, prominent elders, yeah. Some of them that when I was coming out of the Christianity, I looked up to them, you know, and now they're putting their resignation, man, you know?
Exactly. So yeah, that's just how it goes. So what Nate's gonna do, this is like I said, this ain't gospel truth, but this is what I think. Nate is gonna be one of those guys where he's gonna read Romans 13 to convince his followers to take the chip.
So they don't push the RFID chip.
Huh?
They don't
push it.
They don't push that.
Nope. They say that the mark of the beast is Christianity.
Exactly. So it would make sense for them to say that it's fine to take the chip.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yep.
So that's most likely what he's gonna try and do. But all of this.
Let me just read this a little bit. Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
And that's why if you notice the one guy in IUIC, the Haitian guy, I call him the Haitian.
Yeah.
Loud guy, yeah?
He said he was rebellion.
The violent. Yeah.
Rebellion. So he thought he was going to get at the white man, break him down.
Yeah, that guy.
Because that's what I believe. They're going to use the scripture here, like I said, to convince the people. That look, you got to take that chip. It's okay to take the chip. It's all right, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because the chip ain't the mark of the beast anyway. So you can take it. That's what they're going to do.
You know the shows where the camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the prophets.
Exactly.
Because it was like a neck and neck tie, GMS and IUIC, like which one? You know what I'm saying? It was like that. It was kind of like.
It was, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now with all this, It's showing as we're nearing the end who are the prophets.
Yep.
Now I don't say that to be lifted up or anything like that.
it's just the truth, it's the
I'm
truth.
just saying like through a process of elimination, we all need to examine ourselves at the end of the day. But
Apostle Hart said, we're the vanguard, man.
And when I was going around Christian houses,
Right, where they got it, right.
ones that I knew, and I was talking to them, and they was on that, which I was there too. They were still on that IUIC thing, and I haven't, you know, I'll pass around there and find out what they're going to be saying about that. You know, because when you come out of Christianity, they do have a certain, and they are attractive because they're on that Christian thing, you know, the entry level thing. So, and the women too, the married men, them say, oh, they're nice to the women and stuff like that.
Right.
So they relate to them, but things are changing, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Verse 2 is the main point. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
He's rebellion.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Yeah, so that's the perfect precept they're gonna use. They're gonna have to use that precept. All of those higher level churches, man, that can hold an occupancy of pretty much 1,000 members, or more than just that, thousands of members, they're gonna use that scripture.
Can I say something?
They're gonna have to go on.
Because I saw a clip of Nate today talking, and he's basically saying to the congregation that if you either get married or you're out, right? So now you think about it now. Obviously, we know that the woman's a weaker vessel now.
Right.
So when the chick comes around,
Right.
these married men up in IUIC are going to be coerced by their women
Right.
with their
Take that
kids
chick.
to take that chick, man.
Yep.
So it's all a big south.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It says in I believe it's in 1 Corinthians 7. It says something to the effect of if you're like a man in his truth and you have an unbeliever, a woman that's an unbeliever, you're gonna please that woman in terms of doing the things of the world. In 1 Corinthians 7.
7, yeah.
You don't have to get it. I was just quoting it, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of those groups, we're going to find out who's the true group, man, very soon, because, believe me, like GLCC, they're not even worth mentioning, man. You know what I mean?
They on the wayside. This way out.
Yeah, that's
Who
true,
are
you
they,
know.
man?
I haven't heard
I don't
nothing
know
about
who
them,
you
man.
are, man.
Yeah.
Like their leader,
But they're still in the wayside,
no,
brother.
but hang on, their leader went to the same school as Apostle Tahar and everyone, but all of a sudden, the tribe of Reuben is the Aborigines in Australia. I mean, it's just, and when I first came into the truth, I thought they were, you know what I mean? But the Lord guided me, you know?
Push the chip.
They do push the chip, actually. They do. They do say that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, but they're saying that Edomites can be saved.
That just floors the whole.
It goes against Obadiah. It just mucks everything up.
Yep.
If you consider that the white man can be saved, but the Bible dictionary says there's no repentance for them.
Right.
that means other nations can be saved.
Yeah,
Because if Esau can be saved, that means other nations they can be delivered. Because when the scriptures say the Lord came for Esau and Jacob,
Yeah.
that means if they can be saved. That means the other nations can be saved.
Because they're going by this one precept and they're going by this one verse in Deuteronomy. I believe it's I think it's 24 and 8 where it says, "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they use that precept right there to convince themselves of saying, see, the scripture says you're not supposed to hate an Edomite. It's they are your brother. They're your brother. You know, that's our Cosmos. You know, he's the leader of GOCC. So, but when you really dive into that precept and what it's really saying, it's really referring to the Assyrians.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the clerical error. That's not in there. All right, Esau should not be in it. It should be Asher, because those are the people that Abraham was around during that time.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's through knowing the scriptures. Someone like me wouldn't know that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Exactly.
you know the scriptures, what you just explained,
Yeah.
you would know that.
Exactly. And that's how you. And that's what proves our point that we have to be the men of the Lord, because the Lord said He would set up pastors after His own heart, didn't He? And they shall teach you wisdom.